Hi everyone, this is Edgar Huang again. 2 years ago, 2021, I gave a similar talk with the same name. Do you really understand the college application essay questions? So today, I have more to report to you. And because every year students write unqualified essays to depress the admission officers. Now, that's not something good. Okay, so what I'm trying to accomplish today is to get you to understand how to write an impressive college application essay. Because when you write such an essay, whatever application essay, you need to write to impress, not to write to inform. So the difference between the two is that when you write to inform, you try to tell the admission officers who you are. The problem is when you apply to those top colleges, such as Harvard, Princeton, Stanford, any of those top colleges, they have way too many students who apply to them. Okay, and then they don't really care who you are. They only want to make a decision right now. I'm talking about the admission officers. They want to make a decision right now whether you are good enough for them to admit you. So that's why they want to know, oh, you are so outstanding, and then I want to give you a spot. So that's what you need to do. So write to impress, don't write to inform. Okay, and so this is my performance of helping my students in this round, 2023. And pretty much over the years, I've given like a very stable performance in sending my students into those top colleges. So that's why I guess I know what I'm doing in helping my students. So let's get to the first question we're going to talk about today. So what brings you joy? Up to 200 words. Okay, this question is from Notre Dame, but many other colleges have a similar question, such as Notre Dame has one, and then you have Caltech, you have MIT, you have Yale. Many other colleges have a similar question. Now, this question seems inconsequential. It's so easy, and you understand every word, but do you really understand the question? That's my question for you. Okay, so let's take a look at this essay. By the way, I have run an SAT/ACT English class, and in 2021, it's January 2021, at the beginning of the year, College Board announced that it would discontinue SAT essay. That's why I thought, oh, that's great. I'm going to take over the training time in my class to train my students to write application essays, because applying to summer programs, applying to summer colleges will be much, much more important than writing the fake SAT essay. Anyway, so that's why I have been training my students for more than 2 years now. And so sometimes the students get very frustrated by writing these essays. I train them and then they get to learn. That's what I've been doing. So let's take a look at this essay written by one of my students. Something that brings me joy is getting praise from everyone. Ooh, the sentence sounds like the student is suffering from very low self-esteem. Otherwise, why do you want to do that? I'm a very competitive and self-conscious. I want everyone to see me as this bright person because those compliments I receive give me a huge boost and urge me to work hard and persevere. An example of getting compliments is the Geography B. In 6th grade, we all took a geography test. I got the highest score in my grade and advanced to the next round. Everyone started to compliment and congratulate me. The compliments made me stand out like a king, but it didn't have to be outstanding to get praise. I just had to be helpful and kind. A friend of mine died in an accident. I walked up to his grieving mother and explained that she is not alone in her shock and that we are all with her. She said that I was very sweet. I was the first child to come up alone and express my condolences. I was sad at the time, but also happy at the compliment. Compliments make me joyful because they increase my self-esteem and make me worthwhile. I feel blessed and very important when receiving those compliments and praises. So when I shared this essay with my class, and all my students in the class agreed with me that the student probably is suffering from low self-esteem and also low self-confidence. That's why this essay is betraying this fact. And when you send this essay for real, if it was sent to real to the admission officers, this essay is very much like a self-sabotaging, and it's not going to work very well for the student. So every time when I assign a topic to my students, before they write anything, I don't say a word about this topic. Hey, you write it. And then after that, I will go over this topic with them together as a collective critiquing effort. And so they get to know how to understand this question. So here is my observation I shared with my students. Number one, this question seemed short and inconsequential, but it provides a great opportunity for you to show how wonderful you are. You have to show how wonderful you are. Since there is another question that asks about your academic credentials, as I told you in class, you are not supposed to talk about how wonderful you are in the academic area that you will claim as your major. So yeah, you're not supposed to. Number two, many of you started the essay with a claim like helping others brings me joy. Then you moved on to show how you helped or what you did. Finally, you ended with a statement about joy. The problem is that you have demonstrated no evidence in the middle of the essay that whatever you do brings you joy. So as a result, your essay sounds insincere or incongruent. So let me emphasize it one more time that all your essays must be evidence-based. Yeah, what brings me joy? That whatever thing that is brings me joy. You have to show evidence. That thing does bring me joy. So for that reason, show joy rather than tell about joy. Number three, since this question does not provide any directional hint regarding content, you can present yourself in almost any way you want, so long as you can show how outstanding you are. You have to show how outstanding you are. I told you, you have to write to impress. So whenever you write an essay, always think about what other students might write. Try to write something different, something unique, idiosyncratic, or something that can make you more easily stand out of the crowd. So this is something you have to keep in mind when you write on this topic. So here we go. We have a model essay and also written by one of my students in the class. And you say, why do some of the words show in red color? Because those students in my class obviously are not at the stage of applying to colleges yet. They are in 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, even 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade. I have young students as well. They are very ambitious and wish to learn early. And so that's why I ask them to imagine you are already in 12th grade, since you are supposed to write this essay to apply to colleges, one of the colleges. So that's why you have to imagine you're in 12th grade. And by that time, of course, you haven't done, you're still in 9th grade, let's say. You haven't done a lot of things yet, but imagine what you want to do in the next several years so that you can write an essay to impress the admission officers. Then you have a direction, you have a goal for yourself or goals for yourself in the next several years, what you want to accomplish, do and accomplish. Okay, so here we go. The student wrote, writing brings me joy. Okay, that's a crystal clear answer. Very good. Since elementary school, essays has become the mediums for me to express my views of the world. Striving to clearly demonstrate my perspectives, I borrowed the books and began to spend days and nights studying the language usages of famous journalists. With no parental compulsion, I could concentrate on composition for 5 hours without being tired, as well as revise my writing till midnight. In addition, I kept the habit of journaling for more than 6 years. Eventually, I developed a remarkable appreciation of literary devices, writing styles, and the beauty of English. Whenever I had written a beautifully portrayed article, I could addictively read it every day without being bored. The self-motivating journey lasted 12 years from primary school to high school. What I'm most proud of is the growth of maturity of my writings. My essays began with numerous grammatical mistakes and obscure messages. Now, I'm able to use my compositions to paint vivid pictures in my readers' minds. Every time my writings were displayed in the newspaper, exhibited on our school website, published in the book, or won a national competition, I feel strong sense of satisfaction and happiness. Okay, so this essay obviously is achievement based. It's trying to show the student is trying to show how outstanding he or she is in terms of writing. So, very good. All right, let's move on to another topic. Tell us about the most significant challenge you faced or something important that didn't go according to plan. How did you manage the situation? 250 words. This question is from MIT. I coach a lot of students apply to MIT every year. I send students into MIT almost every year as well. This year alone, I sent 4 students into MIT. And so the issue here is that almost every year, my students, some of them, would approach me and ask me, "Oh, Dr. Huang, my life has been very smooth across the years. I don't know what I can say for this question. What can I do?" Whenever I hear such a question, I just laugh, Typically, in my mind, I would just ask you, can I change your history? So when I ask you that question, if I do ask you that question, do I sound very mean? Yeah, I think so too. I sound mean. But that's exactly the only thing I can say to you, I cannot change your history. I'm sorry, So that's why many times challenges, debacles, difficulties are disguised blessings. You have to treat them positively. And you never know, someday you can take advantage of those bad situations to turn them around, if you did turn them around and write something about your experience. So this is the opportunity for you, okay? All right, so let's take a look at one essay from one of my students. A significant challenge I experienced was a war I had with myself, and it revolved around something that served as a source of exercise, escape from reality, and the leisure all in one swimming. In high school, as the swimming progressively got more competitive, I constantly found myself comparing my technique, times, and posture to others. This mindset escalated to the point where I faked ankle injuries to avoid swimming in meets. The glaring red numbers of individual performances on the scoreboard would further drown me in the depths of a bruised ego. It wasn't until my swim coach delivered the team a pep talk that I really began to resurface. She stated that as swimmers, we did indeed have a lot to worry about. Drinking 5 bottles of water a day, dropping a sixth of a minute on the 100-meter freestyle. But what were these roadblocks compared to swimming for the exhilaration, the friendships, and the lessons learned through it all? Following this talk, I realized that my thoughts weren't fueled by peer pressure, but rather self-sabotage. It wasn't them, it was me. Most importantly, the words of my coach matched the exact reasons why I chose to begin swimming in the first place. They reminded me of how my detrimental thoughts had interfered with my true purpose of taking part in the sport. When an individual shuts their mind and opens their eyes, only then can they see the whole picture. All right, so everyone, let's start with the last sentence, okay? When an individual shuts their mind and opens their eyes, this sentence involves a grammatical mistake. Okay, individual is singular, there is plural. Okay, so that's why this is one mistake. And you say, oh, this is politically correct. College board doesn't. Colleges don't care about your political, correctness. It's about the grammar that matters. Okay, but second, the sentence is an opinion. It's not a fact. Okay, and whenever you write an essay, you always need to stay with facts about you instead of writing an opinion. Because whenever you write an opinion, no opinion is going to show you are outstanding. Okay, let's give an extreme example here. You say, "Oh, I believe in Muhammad Allah." That's an opinion, right? So you believe in something, and because Muhammad Allah deserves your belief, Hey, you can replace Muhammad Allah with any other like religious icon. But does it make you stand out of the crowd? So you believe in something, then the admission officers will admit you? Seriously? No way. Okay, no one's gonna do that. Okay, so that's why anytime when you write an opinion or you're writing a comment, no, such things don't matter. Okay, don't matter at all. Number one. Number two. Okay, so what is the significant challenge in this essay? So you couldn't swim well? Okay, cool. Okay, you have something here. All right. And what is the question? How did you manage the situation? Okay, which words show you managed the situation? None. So that's why, did you manage at all? Maybe you did, but did you tell me? No. So that's why this essay is totally off track. I'm sorry to tell you, So that's why, writing this way is not going to help, okay? And let me tell you, many years, okay? Students, thousands and thousands of students write unqualified essays, and they send to admission offices, and then they get killed. Their applications get killed. That's what I mean. Okay, so that's why, hey, that's not good. That's not good. Okay, so what you need to do is to learn how to write a qualified college application essay. Anyway, so this is not good, and let's take a look at how we should understand this question. Number one, to answer this question, you must have a significant challenge or an experience that didn't go according to your plan. Do you have one? So if you don't have one, then chances are you should quit applying to a college like MIT that has a question in this nature. So otherwise, I don't know what you can say. That's number one. That's why I always tell my students that, hey, you don't need to wait until you are in senior year, then you open a Common App account or any other application account. Like MIT has its own account. University of California has its own account. Okay, anyway, so doesn't matter. What you need to do is to open an account early so that you'll get to know, what is expected of me to say about myself. Okay, and so you can prepare early. Number two, further, the challenge must be significant enough to warrant the title of the most significant challenge. Otherwise, you will betray the fact that you don't have much experience in life, or you are a sensational person because you're trivializing a significant challenge, especially that term. Okay, so either way, your essay will sound unjustified. Make sure you do have a significant challenge. Number three, the focus of the essay should be on answering the question, how did you manage the situation? So in other words, you must spend sizable number of words to answer this question. The purpose is to show how marvelous you are when you face such a big challenge. Sadly, many students spent most of the words on describing the challenge and did not answer the question at all, or hardly answered the question by writing one sentence with no detail at all. So that's not good. And so obviously, like I told you earlier, many students understand every word in the question, but they literally don't understand the question. So that essay is another example to show my point, to illustrate my point. Number four, logically, you must have excelled during and after handling the challenge. So your outcome must demonstrate you did an excellent job, because I told you, you must write to impress. Otherwise, you say, how did you manage? I was not successful. Then why did you write it? Exactly. Okay. Number five, this is the most challenging question for many seniors who apply to MIT every year. So prepare early if you plan to apply to MIT. All right, so let's try another topic. This time, by the way, let me show you a model essay from a student. Okay, so this student actually did get into MIT in 2021. Let's take a look. Wheels slipped. The car spun out of control and bumped into the highway fence once, twice. At that instant, I felt my life had reached the end. Luckily, I survived and still managed to arrive at awesome math camp on time. Wow, what a tragedy the student had to go through. However, this uncontrollable incident made me realize that this world is not a protected fairy tale, but a realistic sphere where dangers are hidden everywhere. I felt suddenly lost in life. In the next few days, I locked myself in my dorm and I stopped trying hard in classes, thinking that life was meaningless. This is a child, This kind of a feedback response and reaction is very normal. Okay, continue. As my life slowly fell apart, I realized I had to change to not let fear of dying stop me from living the fullest. Okay, how did you manage? Continue. I began to walk out of my comfort zone by trying new things. I took initiatives to be friends with strangers and sing in front of everyone on karaoke night. I became more extroverted. I devoted most of the designed recreational time to studying math to test my academic limits. I scored a class high on all weekly assessments. I seized more leadership positions. I led a team with different backgrounds to win 4th place in the team contest. I continued to challenge myself after the camp. I conducted scientific research on IoT data transmission and got my paper published in the National High School Journal of Science. Eventually, I came out of the trauma and turned it into a precious opportunity to expand on my personality and the academic abilities and explore the world with a newfound perspective and a drive. Yeah, this essay is really, really strong. It comes, from the abyss and then coming back on to the ground zero and rise above and beyond. So this is something great. Okay, let's move on to the next topic. Take a look. How did you spend your last 2 summers? From Stanford. 50 words only. Okay, you're not reading it wrong. Yeah, only 50 words. Okay, Princeton, Yale, Stanford. Yeah, these top colleges have have short essays, and those essays are typically the most difficult to answer. So that's why many students just discount them, treat them as easy. Really? Are they? They are very difficult. And for you to be able to answer this question successfully, as you can see, I just told you earlier, you have to prepare early. If you read this question for the very first time in the senior year, you can tell you're going to probably have a heart attack. Okay? So, oh my gosh, no one has told me that I have to be prepared in the summers as well. Yeah, after 10th grade and the summer after 10th grade and the summer after 11th grade. So that's why, sorry, you have to prepare early. Take a look. This student's essay. My family and I went on a vacation to Hawaii on our last summer break, and we stayed home because of COVID the other summer. The year when we went to Hawaii is fun compared to the other years. We slept at a good hotel and enjoyed the weather. And you probably are laughing now when you have read this essay. Yeah, Harvard admission officers are going to admit you because you were on vacation. Yeah, take a look how outstanding I am because I was on vacation. Seriously, right? So I know you are laughing. Anyway, but COVID-19, blocked many people's lives from reaching its fullest. Sure. But were you the only one who suffered from COVID? Come on, everyone suffered from it. Okay, so that's why when you write this way, you're not going to get sympathy from the admission officers at all. Okay, so that's why writing this way, you can tell you're not going to win any possibility of getting into Harvard or Stanford. Sorry. Take a look at another one. Over previous summers, I decided to create animations alone. it was overly ambitious and perhaps impossible. Nonetheless, I gradually ground away at the tremendous task. I've made decent progress since then. I've also learned many skills and will continue to chase my dream of being an animator. Okay, all right. Are you outstanding in animation today? I don't see any evidence you are. That means you are not. And that's why I'm sorry, I cannot admit you, because you're not good. You can tell, according to admission officer's logic. Okay, so that's why you never want to write an essay like this. Okay, and then you say, what should I write? How should I write for this topic? How did you spend last 2 summers? Okay, let's take a look. Since you only have 50 words, you have to use the space very wisely, okay? You don't have to write sentences. Just list if you wish. Yeah, of course, you don't have to list if you don't want to list. But ideally, you list. Number 2, you're applying to Stanford, which has a 3.9% of the acceptance rate in 2023. Okay, you're not applying to Indiana University. Sorry, I'm not trying to bash my university. I graduated from there, okay? But on the undergraduate level, it does have 80% of the acceptance rate. I'm just stating the fact, okay? Indiana University is a marvelous university, and I greatly benefit from its education. It's great, okay? But let's stay with the facts. Therefore, try your very best to impress the admission officers, okay? So don't write to inform one more time. Write to impress. Number 3, Stanford admission officers can simply admit you or reject you based on what you have written for this question. Yeah, because this question already has shown how good you are. It's a very good sign how good you are. Okay. Number 4, the activities you include should be ideally only doable in the summer. For instance, I spent like 2 months in Florida, SSTP. If you skip your school for 2 months, there's no chance you can do that. But you can only do so. But you can do so in the summer, right? So, I spent like 5 weeks in the summer to do community service. Why didn't you do summer community service in regular semesters? Because you can, right? I didn't manage my time very well. I was, caught up with my academic pursuit. So that means you cannot manage your time well enough to include community service. You're supposed to include community service in your routine academic life as well. So anyway, so that's something you should consider. Number 5, the activities can be either academic or non-academic in these 50 words. But you must include at least some activities that are related to the area that you will claim as your major, right? So if you don't pursue academics in the summer, I think that's a huge waste of your resources. So you can go to very competitive summer programs in computer science, in biology, in history, or in English or whatever. So that's what you can do. You can do research in the summer with someone. You can do internships in the summer in a far away place, so and so. Okay. So number 5. Number 6, there are 8 levels of academic preparation in the area you will claim as your major in college. So these are the 8 aspects. Okay, I have a video specifically talking about how to prepare in these 8 aspects, and so I'm not going to repeat. Preferably, your answer includes some of the activities from E to H, like competitive summer programs, competitions, research, and internships. Number 7, if you read this question in 12th grade for the very first time, I told you, chances are you will have serious trouble. Okay, so that's why you have to prepare early. Number 8, this question obviously is asking you to talk about the summer after 10th grade and the summer after your 11th grade. Some students did not even understand the question that way. They wrote about other summers. No, you cannot do so. Okay. Make sure you do understand the question. All right, so let's take a look at a model answer here. Okay, here we go. 2018, innovative carpet lifting machine Design a natural disaster prevention system at SHAD. It's the most prestigious summer program in Canada. Obviously, the student came from Canada. Led overnight hiking 22 kilometers and rafting trips 65 kilometers in Rockies. So yeah, this entry is showing that I am not a nerd. Especially look at the length. This is not something ordinary people can tolerate. Yeah, this student really is really outstanding athletically as well. 2019. Innovated smart multi-dog feeder. This student sounds like an inventor, so very good at doing inventing things. 2. Learned from Michael Grimm's Uber IPO at MNTSI. Ooh, MNTSI. That's one of the most prestigious summer programs offered by UPenn, Wharton Business School. Wow, you got in there? Okay, cool. Design AI license plate recognition system for her school. Yeah, it's a boy, it's a girl. Both summers organized AI for Youth Canada national conferences. 750 plus youths join these conferences. Wow! So this is very impressive, as you can tell. One more time, right to impress. Okay, let's try take a look at another example here. From another student, discovered the applications, beauty, and joy of mathematics at SUMAC alongside equally passionate explorers with one commonality, curiosity. Whoa, you got into SUMAC. Okay, cool. You're applying to Stanford, but you got into SUMAC. SUMAC means the Stanford University Mathematics Camp. Okay, and acceptance rate is extremely low. So that's why most students who got into SUMAC got accepted by Stanford later, or similar colleges like Harvard, Yale, Princeton. Okay. Anyway, so number 1. Number 2, conducting research at the Texas State University, getting my Taekwondo black belt. Not a nerd. Cool. Representing Kentucky at ARMO. Wow, you are very good. Representing not my school, Kentucky. Okay. Producing Chinese and the rap music fusions. Learning to play a piano medley of The Greatest Showman. Making math memes. Okay, so this student doesn't sound like a nerd, but the student is really, really outstanding across different areas, including athletics as well. So yeah, you need to write like this to impress your admission officers.